Hello, fellow food lovers. Today I will be making Chinese 5-spice salt and pepper tofu. This is a vegan dish. You need 2 blocks of firm tofu, 5 pieces of garlic, a quarter of a medium onion, 3 bird's eye chilies or any small chili, half a teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of 5-spice powder. So I have the quarter of an onion. I'm gonna dice it into fine mince. So salt and pepper tofu is basically fried or deep fried tofu that's tossed in a bunch of aromatics. That being the garlic, onion, chilies, the 5-spice powder. Salt and pepper is a type of Chinese cooking technique that's commonly used with tofu, shrimp, squid, and pork chops. Okay, once I've diced the onion, I'm gonna mince the garlic. Okay, I have 3 bird's eye chilies. I'm gonna cut the end stems off and then mince it. A lot of times when you mince these chilies, the seeds will fall out. And if you don't want a really spicy dish, you can just leave the seeds when you pick up the chilies. Okay, I have 2 blocks of firm tofu. I'm going to cut it into small slabs or small tiles, I guess. So first I'll cut the tofu in half, and then go in the other direction. I'll cut it into about 10 to 12 slices. For this size tofu block, probably 10 slices is best. Okay, let's get cooking. So I have the wok on high heat. I'm going to add cooking oil to about half until I fill half the wok. Okay, so about 5-6 minutes has passed by. So the way Chinese people test to see if the wok is hot enough or the oil is hot enough, they'll take a wooden chopstick and they'll dip it into the oil, and if it bubbles like that, then it means that it's done. So you need to use a wooden chopstick. You can't use a metal chopstick or a plastic chopstick for that. It won't work. Okay, so I'm putting the tofu in. I'm kind of sliding it in along the side of the wok. If you drop it from directly above, you'll splash and you make it burn. So don't do that. Yeah, slide it along the side of the wok. And when it starts to fry, you want to move it around a bit so that they don't stick together or stick to the bottom of the wok. And then every once in a while you want to kind of move them around and make sure that any bits that are sticking above the oil, it gets immersed. Okay, put a plate aside, and we'll put some paper towel over it so that I could put the tofu on the paper towel to drain the oil. So this is all done in high heat. So it took about maybe 4 or 5 minutes for the tofu to be stably browned to take out. And halfway through the cooking, you want to turn the tofu over because the oil in the bottom next to the element is hotter than the oil on top. So the bottom of the tofu will brown sooner. So you want to turn over at least once. Okay, so about 5 minutes has gone by. The tofu is quite browned, so I'm going to take it out of the oil now. So I like to shake it up a bit so the oil kind of drains before I take it out. I like to strain out the little bits before I do the second batch. Okay, I'm going to put the second batch in now. Okay, so 5 minutes later, the second batch is done. I'm going to take it out now. Okay, so I usually save the oil from deep frying in the wok, and I put it in a little oil container that I set aside on the stovetop for later use. So I'll strain the oil through a sieve before I put it away. Okay, I'm going to fry the aromatics now. So I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of cooking oil in the wok. After deep frying, the wok's usually pretty clean, so I'm not going to wash it. Oh, sorry, I got to repeat it. Okay, so I put 2 tablespoons of oil in the wok. I'm going to add the aromatics, the onion, the garlic, and the chilies. Give that a stir. So you want the onion and garlic to be just lightly brown before you start adding the other seasoning. If you wait for it to get too dark, it'll burn quite fast. Okay, so I turned the heat down to medium just to control the temperature to prevent the garlic and onion from burning. So I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of table salt. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of sugar. Yeah, so that was 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of sugar. And then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of 5-spice powder. And half a teaspoon of black pepper ground up. I'm going to stir that, mix the seasonings with aromatics. So if you find the seasoning is a little clumpy, add a little bit more oil to it to dissolve the seasonings. Okay. Let that brown a bit, let the seasonings infuse with the oil. And then I'm going to toss the tofu in. And then I'm going to give that a stir, make sure that all the tofu is coated in the seasoning. Make sure you toss it pretty good. So you kind of come underneath with the spoon and pick up the seasoning and bring it up over top and toss it over the tofu. Okay, I turn the heat off and it's ready to serve. Okay, there you have it. Chinese 5-spice salt and pepper tofu. A very popular Hong Kong vegan dish. Okay, bon appetit.